Distinguished ministers, ladies and gentlemen, I'm honored to welcome you all to our online business event between Estonia and Iceland on FinTech solutions. I'll be your moderator today and lead you through the entire conversation. We have plenty of exciting companies, both from Estonia and Iceland, that will tell you about their solution. But before we focus on the main subject of today, I will start with some housekeeping first. First of all, you are currently on a WorksApp platform where you can scroll through the entire agenda as well as see all the speakers and topics which are going to be covered in the very next moment. As you may see, first of all, we will receive the statements from the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Estonia, Ms. Eva-Maria Liimets, and the Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Development Cooperation of Iceland, Mr. Gudlaugur Thor Thodarsson. After the high-level statements, we will proceed to keynote speakers. Mr. Kaido Saar, who will represent the Estonian FinTech market, and Mr. Gunnlaugur Jonsson, who is the expert from the FinTech cluster of Iceland. Our expert speakers will not only provide an overview of the opportunities in the FinTech industry in Estonia and Iceland, but also discuss about the role of technology in banking, one of the oldest industries in the human history, and question where will new technical solution bring us in the future. Following keynote speeches, we will proceed to short 2-minute speeches from 10 participating companies, both from Estonia and Iceland, who will introduce their attractive FinTech solutions. Once we are done with company presentation, we will wrap up the public part of our today's event with closing remarks and continue straight away with the private B2B and B2G matchmaking meetings. If you do not have a pre-booked meeting, you are very welcome to give us a note in the chat function with organizers, which you can see on the WorksApp platform, or you can also directly inquire a meeting from the company by contacting them right here on the right side of the WorksApp platform. As a final note from my side from now, let me assure you that today's event is streamed via YouTube and the recording will remain publicly accessible also after the event. And now, let me proceed with welcoming the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Estonia, Ms. Eva-Maria Liimets. Please, Ms. Liimets, the floor is yours.
Honorable Minister, Mr. Gudlaugur, dear business representatives, dear friends of Iceland and Estonia, I am honored to speak here today at the virtual business forum between Estonia and Iceland on innovative solutions in the field of the FinTech sector. Due to travel restrictions of the current pandemic, unfortunately, I cannot yet welcome you in Tallinn, but I am glad that we are taking an advantage of the online business meeting format, which allows us to continue forming strong cooperation ties and creating new business opportunities between our countries. Considering the fact that our very first virtual business matchmaking event was successfully and productively held between our countries already in November 2020, I firmly believe that virtual format of meetings offers us a sound alternative while in-person business networks working is on hold. In addition to practical value, such occasions also contribute to further strengthening and adding visibility to the already excellent bilateral relations between our two countries. This year it is especially topical as we will celebrating 30 years since the re-establishment of the independence of Estonia. It is a well-known fact to every Estonian that on the 22nd of August in 1991, Iceland was the first country to officially recognize the sovereignty of Estonia, which laid a foundation for a mutual feeling of solidarity between the two countries, a special relationship which continues to be cherished by both sides and observed on a high level. Despite the pandemic, businesses continue evolving, among other in the digital sector, taking into account our like-mindedness and growing digital cooperation. I am very happy that we can today bilaterally focus on financial technologies, or shortly FinTech. FinTech sector of Estonia is perhaps less frequently on the agenda as, for instance, e-governance. However, Estonia ranks first in the world for having most unicorn companies per capita, as well as for being the most startup-friendly country. Among others, Estonia serves as a home to two globally well-known FinTech unicorns, Wise, formerly known as TransferWise, and Zego. The entrepreneurial mindset, openness to the innovative business models, and supporting regulations is what attracts creative minds and investors to become part of Estonia's startup community, currently consisting of more than 1,000 companies. Among numerous startup entrepreneurs, FinTech sector accounts for 46% of the total startup turnover, which was generated in the first quarter of 2021. I am happy to acknowledge that Iceland's digital startup scene has also been blooming in the recent years. Similarly to the Estonian experience, Iceland offers low bureaucracy levels and simple tax structures to support the growing of Iceland's startup culture. Hence, I believe that our countries have a lot in common in the digital sector and particularly in the FinTech, and would be glad to share their unique know-how, broad experience, and further creative ideas with private and governmental stakeholders. Dear friends, I am confident that today's event will further encourage and open up our bilateral cooperation and provide business opportunities for Estonian and Icelandic stakeholders and entrepreneurs. I would like to thank you all once again for participating. I also hope to warmly welcome you all in Estonia as soon as the COVID-19 situation allows, and also will be looking forward to come to Iceland with our entrepreneurs. Wish you great success in meeting new business contacts. Thank you and stay safe.
Thank you, Ms. Limits, for your encouraging words. And now I'm honored to give the floor to Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Development Cooperation of Iceland, Mr. Guðlaugur Þórðarson. Please, Mr. Þórðarson, the floor is yours.
Foreign Minister Limits, dear Eva Maria, dear business representative from Estonia and Iceland, and other distinguished guests. Good morning. This is the second virtual business meeting of Icelandic and Estonian companies. The first one took place in November, where we discussed e-governance and digital solutions in the fight against COVID-19. Now the focus is on FinTech and various opportunities in that sector between our countries and around the world. Businesses in both themes, e-governance and FinTech, are based online. They operate in the digital world. Many industries and economic activities rely on natural resources, such as forestry in Estonia and fisheries in Iceland, to name two obvious examples close to our hearts. These are truly important industries that continue to serve our societies well and bring great value. But we, ourselves, people, are the main natural resource when it comes to IT and digitalization. It is human capital, innovation, and creativity that is at the heart of e-trade and FinTech. Here, smaller countries such as Iceland and Estonia do not only have an opportunity to compete with the larger ones, being small might even be an advantage. I believe that we, who are small, can also be lean, quick and fast. We can shorten bureaucratic processes and reduce administrative burdens, thus allowing our companies to thrive. And we need to be resourceful and innovative to withstand competition from larger countries and companies. Here, Estonia continues to be an inspiration to Iceland as regards e-governance, with the X-Road project serving as a great example of how we can cooperate in this field. FinTech contacts are also steadfastly growing, as evident from the number and quality of companies participating today, and I am certain that Icelandic companies have various things to offer to their Estonian counterparts. Iceland and Estonia are also natural partners on so many other levels. Politically, we are close allies in NATO, proud members of the UN, and close partners within the framework of EEA agreement. This is also important for business. Last but not least, we have strong historical ties dating back to the turbulent times after the end of the Cold War. Iceland is proud to have played a part in Estonia's brave struggle for independence. We look forward to commemorating 30 years of diplomatic relations with a visit to Iceland next August, where there will also be a strong focus on future trade cooperations. I wish you all a successful couple of hours and look forward to a fruitful follow-up.
Thank you, Mr. Todderson, for your substantive statement. We will now proceed to our exciting keynote speeches for today. First, Mr. Kaido Saar, Chairman of the Management Board of Finance Estonia, will talk about the FinTech sector of Estonia. Please, Mr. Saar, the floor is yours.
Hello. I'm glad to talk about Estonian FinTech, and I'm Kaido Saar, Chairman of Finance Estonia. I believe Estonia and Iceland have very special relations since the restoration of Estonian independence 1991. But beside that, I have also my own very good personal memories regarding Iceland. I remember I was in charge of bank, Estonian capital-based bank operating in 9 European countries. I was CEO of this bank, and we expanded to Germany. It was long time ago, and we introduced that we are coming from Estonia, and German people looked at or asked, okay, what is Estonia? Estonia wasn't even part of EU on that moment, and we explained that Estland, and they asked, okay, Estland, is it Iceland? And, no, it's Estland, and we thought, okay, we know Iceland, but we don't know Estland. So that was a long time ago. But from that moment, situation has changed, and Estonia is part of European Union, and Estonia has developed a lot regarding technology, regarding financial market, regarding FinTech, and Estonia is quite known, or very known in Germany as well. But at first, about Finance Estonia, we are Estonian financial sector cluster organization. We were established in 2011, and celebrating 10 years anniversary this year. And we are helping to develop Estonia's vibrant and innovation location for financial services. We have approximately 100 members, and we have 5 focus areas in our organization. Beside FinTech, we have also credit providers, crowdfunding, pension, and capital markets. But I can tell you that FinTech has been the most popular among our members, and majority of our members are related one or another way to FinTech. And in future, or actually even right now, we are starting to shift our focus to sustainable finance as well, as we see this is the need among our members, and this is general shift in global approach. Our focus areas for FinTech current year. We continue building an innovation-friendly ecosystem for Estonian FinTechs. This is the key for us. On same time, we are strengthening cooperation with local regulators. We have special focus on AML and KYC improvement measures. And I believe personally that after this Danske Bank AML case, and after they left from Estonia, Estonia has become a really good expert on this anti-money laundering field and proper measures, what to do and how to fight against this. And of course, expanding international opportunities and growing networks abroad. About Estonia as a startup country or fintech country. Estonia is very small and startup friendly country. Estonia has only 1.3 million people. I know this is more than in Iceland, but still it's a very small country. And Estonia is a very good place to test new solution and easy to scale out from Estonia. We have 1,100 startups in our official startup database, and this sector is growing 30% a year right now. Estonia has 7 unicorns, which is top of the world. We have 200 FinTech companies in Estonia, and we have fast-growing RegTech sector as well. And what is interesting regarding Estonia, Estonian startups, also FinTechs, they are international since the beginning of a company. Why? Because Estonia is such a small market, only 1.3 million people, that it's not feasible to build a new technology, new solution purely for Estonia itself. For example, the founder of Estonian fintech company Veriff, who is doing remote identification and anti-fraud detection, they told that if they have built the solution only for Estonia, they should identify each Estonian citizen 3 times per day, in the morning, during lunch, and before the dinner. So there is no reason to identify each Estonian 3 times per day. So they just had to plan the architecture of a technology and architecture of a business concept to be international since the beginning. Estonia has a very good and favorable ecosystem for starting a fintech and the ease of doing business. We have very clear and fintech friendly legislative environment. Estonian startups have told that it's pretty easy to find funding for them, because venture capitalists, they have seen very good new technology companies are built here, and they are interested more and more in Estonia and new projects. Estonia has e-services or governmental e-services which are available 24/7. Also commercial type of e-services are available 24/7, so it's very convenient. And Estonia has e-residency, which enables to run your business abroad. For example, if you are living in Iceland but you have company in Estonia, then using e-residency you can manage your company on distance. You can do all these official procedures, communication, applications, whatever. As Estonia's small country, we have very good and strong relationships with government stakeholders and financial supervision authority. I have seen in my personal life, or not personal, professional life in past that if talking to the FSA in bigger countries, there are quite many financial sector companies, and you might be just one row in the Excel for them. But in Estonia, you are not just one row. You are treated directly or personally. And there are humans behind. And Estonia, of course, has a reasonable cost level to operate business, especially compared to Nordics. Not only salary level of people you need to employ, but also cost of living, cost of office, other related cost. In general, I believe Estonia is a great chance for you to enter the European Union or administrate your EU operations from here. Our FinTech sector in Estonia, around 200 companies and 155 are startups. More than 2,000 employees are employed in the sector, and we have seen really fast growth of new fintechs established in recent years. But what more we see, this growth is going on. And if to look the fields of the fintechs, then products and services have very wide variety, ranging from payments, personal finance, insurance, RegTech, crypto, crowdfunding, lending, to analytics and more. What I have seen, banks are cooperating with fintech companies. This period has definitely passed that banks versus fintechs, or there is a competition, and it was maybe some years ago, but right now banks are rather searching for fintechs which are supporting their needs, which are supporting their customers' needs, and there is active cooperation. Also in our organization, Finance Estonia, we have members which are banks, which are fintechs, and they have a very good collaboration. As mentioned before, Estonia is the country which has the biggest number of unicorns per capita. Most probably, the most known unicorn is Wise, formerly TransferWise, and of course this is also the flagship fintech for Estonia as well. But beside them, we have also Skype, Bolt, Pipedrive, Playtech, Sega, ID.me. So seven unicorns founded in Estonia or by Estonians. And we see that there are more fintech companies in pipeline where people are speculating who is the next unicorn. But candidates are Moniz, operating in UK, and actually outside of UK in European Union as well, providing banking accounts and payments and cards, and RIF, who is doing anti-fraud detection and identification in distance, and Fortumo, who provides mobile payments in most of the countries in the world. But there are even more Estonian fintechs which might be in this pipeline on certain moment. Beside fintech, we have also fast-growing RegTech sector. For example, ShareMind, Cybernetica, CardTime, GetID, and Salv, who is specialized on anti-money laundering technology and cooperating with many banks in Estonia and outside of Estonia. So that was a short overview about Finance Estonia, Estonian fintech scene, and shortly about RegTech scene. And as a conclusion, I think that Estonia and Iceland, we are both two very small countries, and we should use our advantages in our favor. In general, if large countries think that they are bigger and it's easier to do the business there because market is big, but still, I believe that small countries have own advantages, and we have to use it wisely. And the main thing is that if doing something, we have to do international since the beginning, and for Iceland, Estonia could be also very good gateway to European Union, how to serve other European countries and your customers or potential customers in entire EU. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kaidasar, for your interesting and throughout overview of Estonia fintech industry. Really looking forward to hear about the next Estonian unicorn in the nearest future. However, now let's hear what Iceland's market has to offer in the field of fintechs. With this goal, I would like to give the floor to our next speaker, who is Mr. Gunnlaugur Jónsson, the CEO of FinTech Cluster of Iceland.
Hello, I'm Gunnlaugur Jónsson from the FinTech Cluster in Reykjavik in Iceland. It's nice to be with you. Thank you for listening and watching perhaps. I want to tell you a little bit about the FinTech Cluster, what we're doing here. And I want to tell you a little bit about FinTech here in general, and also innovation and what clusters are, and how that relates to our two wonderful small countries. Now, the FinTech Cluster is an association of all sorts of FinTech companies and financial companies. So FinTech, in short, of course, is any sort of technology that relates to money or finance. And what we're doing at the FinTech Cluster is we're creating relationships between all these different companies and people that are working in FinTech, because they're working in all sorts of systems and all sorts of fields that do relate to each other. And we have to help them connect. With that connection, we build so many beautiful things. We help people develop their companies because they get in touch with other companies in the ecosystem and the expanded ecosystem. We help people get good ideas and start all sorts of collaboration. We help people educate themselves, and we help companies finance themselves, and many other things. We just do ad hoc, anything that comes to mind that we can do in an impactful manner for these people that are trying to build something new. And we're very mindful that it's not a very straight line to do any of it. So there are ups and downs, and you have to try one thing and then another, and sometimes you have to do what's called pivoting. Pivoting is when you change your business model, you change what you're doing. But as you pivot on your heel, the heel still stays on the same place. So when you're running a startup, you never completely change the startup. You never go from, let's say, FinTech to medicine or something like that. So you use what you have because there's something in that that's valuable, but you understand that you've been approaching things the wrong way. And this relates to the world that we're in. It's changing all the time. We don't know the truth. We don't know the future. We don't know which business models are going to work, and we don't know which people even are the right people to execute different things. And so we have to constantly be looking for new opportunities. And this in a world in which it also is very important to focus. It's very important to focus. So you can't just say, okay, I don't know which technology is going to be the main thing here, so I'm just going to stay in all of them. You can't do that. You have to focus to do something well. If you're not focusing, you're not going to do it well. So the cluster is a good way to be in such a circumstance. It's you can focus on one thing, but stay alert to everything that's happening around you with different members of the cluster. You stay in touch with other countries and people that are doing similar things in other countries or in related areas, and we learn from them constantly, like we're doing at this event now, as companies will present themselves. So the cluster is really the right place to be. It's the ecosystem to stay in when you're dealing with this hard problem of keeping focus in a world that's constantly changing, and you may be wrong about your focus at any time, and you have to shift your focus then. And this is the core of this creative process of creative destruction. It was Joseph Schumpeter who wrote about the concept of creative destruction, an economist from Austria, about 80 years ago, I believe. And he coined that term. Today, people use the word disruption, usually, and they are referring to the innovative new startups that are disrupting established markets. But his way of looking at it is that we're destroying things, and we're destroying them by creating something better. But it's a very dangerous area because we're also, others are trying to destroy what we're doing, and we don't know exactly what's going to get on top. So as it turns out, clusters are a great instrument to help companies work through that. Both the small innovative companies, but also the larger companies that want to use these trends and things that are doing to their advantage. It's very important for large banks to stay connected because they have to stay focused on what they're doing, just do it better. Not a huge bank should not pivot overnight into a new technology that their customers aren't ready for. So they have to stay on top of it. They have to stay in touch with it, and at the right time, take the steps. And often they do that through collaboration with the smaller companies, with the startups, and they grow with them. And actually, we're at a time where the traditional banking business model is under attack because of this creative destruction. And So what do the banks do to defend themselves? Do they try to bankrupt the little companies? Do they try to have the regulator stop them? Well, they could, and sometimes people try to stop competition. But in the long run, it doesn't work out. What really works out is to adapt and rather try to work with the disruptors and allow competition to take its place, and then be one of the banks that benefit from all of this. They can, for example, become, in a small country such as ours and Estonia and Iceland and Estonia, the banks can, for example, work with the smaller companies that have this great potential of growing outside the country. And maybe the banks can, by helping those companies get a foot, they can gain stakes in those companies. Let's say they have a 10 or 20% stake shares in those companies. And when these companies grow and they start to serve the whole market of the world, they may even become more valuable as assets as the banks themselves. So the banks have pretty well hedged themselves against this great disruption that's taking place. So there are two strategies that you can have. You can either just close your eyes to the truth, wait in the corner, cuddled up for what will happen to you, or you can heroically, with your back straight, walk against the challenges of today. So this is a very interesting dynamic, and I think it's the core of free markets. It is, and that we're decentralized. We have all sorts of experiments taking place at the same time. And I think that exactly in FinTech, we have an unusual burst of experiments taking place now with new technologies. For example, blockchain technology that allows for a lot of distributed computation and competition between different parties. All this experimentation taking place all over the place. So that being the core of free markets is something that also relates to countries. We, these people in these small countries, we understand this. We understand that small is beautiful. Small gives so many opportunities, and small creates this, having many small parties creates the very vital distribution of power. And we know that other systems and we know that, of course, in relatively recent history of Estonia, that there was another system that was a totalitarian system, the Soviet system, and that did not allow for this experimentation. You could set up sort of programs within the Soviet Union that sort of worked out. They could get a man to space, etc., and they could create nuclear weapons. But it was very hard to change anything. It was very hard to really innovate in the same dynamic manner that the West was doing at the time, and we all are doing to a large degree today. So I'm very proud to be a member of Iceland and have watched when Estonia declared its independence from the totalitarian system and entered this world of innovation, of creativity and freedom. And I'm very proud that, of course, Iceland was the first country to publicly support Estonia in that process. Now, these companies that we have, these small companies, relatively small companies, are many. I'd like to mention a few. We're going to have a few here that are going to present themselves. On the list, we have Pay Analytics, which is working to close the gender pay gap and other pay gaps. We have Menica that has a white label banking solution for banks all around the world. It started as a small company in Iceland, but is now all around the world. And we have Lucinity, which is in anti-money laundering and is selling their product to banks around the world as well. We have Monerium, which is based on the experience from the centralized banking system and is creating distributed finance through money on blockchain, national currencies, fiat currencies on blockchain. So that's going to help with all of this decentralization narrative that's taking place right now. And it's a small company, but really has potential to grow all over the world and can operate in all of Europe. And then we have Igloo, which is providing people with the ability to rent without placing a guarantee or paying up front. So they just pay a premium. And that's also a service like all of these companies that can be rolled out all through the world. And it's a beautiful thing to get something started in a small country, work with others, and then roll it out all over the world and help people on every continent potentially. We have many interesting companies in the FinTech cluster as well, not only these 5. I'd like to mention 5 Degrees, which is selling core banking systems to banks around the world. It started as a spin-off. They learned from, they actually took software from a bank that went bankrupt in Iceland 12, 13 years ago. And they turned it into a system that could be sold to many banks around the world. And they're doing that and selling other systems, and they're doing quite well. Another company is Grid, which is helping people visualize what they see in spreadsheets. And that has been categorized as a fintech. It may be a long shot, but it's because of how spreadsheets are being used in finance. But Grid is a very impressive company. They're doing beautiful things to empower your spreadsheets to basically program at the tip of your finger, even though you don't have this big programming experience or knowledge yourself. And you can create graphs and interactive interfaces through spreadsheets that are beautiful. One bank has a majority of its technical department in Iceland. It's called GECO, and it's the first proper challenger bank in the United States. And majority of their employees are working in Iceland and all their technical department. And they've built a bank from the bottom up for the American banking system. And they've acquired the bank in the Midwest to get all the licenses, and they're working with the regulator. So that's a very interesting company. They have, you can swipe your card with them and sell immediately underlying securities that you're keeping with them. So it's a full reserve bank because they just keep your money in securities. It's not a fractional reserve bank, which is the traditional banking system. So it's one of the companies that are dealing with the problems of the traditional banking systems. One interesting company is Yay. They are here located in the cluster right across the hall. They are creating gift certificates for all sorts of stores, and they're creating a fun way to deliver the gift certificates. So they're sort of merging it with social media. It's like Snapchat with FinTech. And they also have an aftermarket for the gift certificates, which is fun. One challenger bank that's starting out in Iceland is called Indo, and they're doing a similar thing to GECO. It's a full reserve bank. And so they really have a new banking value proposition that many other neobanks or challenger banks do not have. Many of them are just about the app and the color of the credit card that you have. I'm sorry, maybe I'm not fair on many of them, but Indo is still, they're doing more than most of these challenger banks. Memento is one company that started out with a payment app in Iceland, but now have created a full-fledged banking platform, and they've used that, for example, white labeled it for a new bank in California, and they can do it for anyone else. So if you're going to start a bank, you can just talk to them, and they'll get you all you need, all the digital wallets, etc. One interesting company are lane payments, and they're in split payments. So let's say you have a company and you're renting from a landlord, and you need to pay a part of your sales to the landlord. And you can do it directly through split payments. So the landlord will trust you more. He knows that he's going to get his money, and it may affect, of course, the price at which the rent, the price at which you are renting, and it's better for everyone involved. And of course, split payments can be used for so many other things as well. So I want to apologize to all the others that I'm not mentioning, because there's so many of them, I can't talk about them all. But a few of these companies are here in the FinTech cluster, a very beautiful new building that we have close to the University of Iceland in Reykjavik. But some of them are around town, somewhere else. I think all of these companies are in Reykjavik or near Reykjavik. A lot of our action is concentrated on the capital area. So I would like to thank you very much. And I welcome anyone, for example, from Estonia that wants to contact us and see if there's any way of collaborating or creating a stronger connection between us. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jonsson, for your input. I hope now we are all even more interested in the attractive market of Iceland. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to give the floor to our entrepreneurs who will present their companies and tell what exciting they have to offer on the FinTech solutions. Each presentation is a 2-minute pitch, and I would kindly like to ask you to be punctual and stick to your 2 minutes. First of all, to speak would be the company Vera. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Peter Hagen. I'm board member of Vera Ltd. Vera is Estonian FinTech company established in 2016. And Vera is cloud-based software for financial planning and budget monitoring. Our main customers are local governments, municipalities, and middle and large size organizations at the moment. Existing accounting softwares, which are commonly used, and Microsoft Excel don't provide easy and understandable solutions when it comes to budgeting. So that's why we created Vera, which is excellent and convenient tool for creating budgets and monitoring them. Vera makes financial planning simple and understandable for every party in organizations. What is the uniqueness of Vera? Different budgets in one place, numbers that have a meaning, numbers are easy to manage in every level. All parties from a municipality mayor to a school principal or from CEO to CFO can now work with budgets at the same time, irrespective of their location or the device and the software they are using. Vera is integrated with existing accounting softwares and Microsoft Power BI as well, if needed. And as I said, we are established almost 5 years ago. We have over 15 municipalities in Estonia, which is 60% of municipalities. We have more than 4,000 active users, and total volume of budgets managed by Vera is approximately over 2 billion euros. Client's data is located in Amazon Web Service in Ireland, and Vera has ISO certification. So we have 10 people at office, 4 private shareholders, and we are in scale-up stage in this moment. Thank you very much and see you soon.
Thank you very much for your input. And now we will move on to Salv Technologies.
Hi, I am Taavi, the founder and CEO of Salv, a RegTech company aiming to beat financial crime. Salv was founded in 2018 after me and my former colleagues from Wise and Skype realized the time is right to build our own anti-money laundering technology. We took our more than decade-long experience in AML and compliance and packaged it into a smart AML platform. In the past 3 years, we have grown into a team of 30 people, and we have strong investors believing in our mission. And we also have more than 20 clients trusting us with their AML. So what is the problem that we are resolving? Every year, criminals launder up to 4 trillion euros a year. This is the size of the German economy. If we fail to stop the money, we fail to prevent crimes like illegal weapon sales, drugs, and human trafficking. This is a vicious cycle we need to put an end to. So, how are we solving it? The AML platform we have built makes financial crime prevention much more efficient for companies, no matter what is their size. Our platform offers tools for different needs. For growing fintechs, Salv is a great one-stop shop. Fintechs get transaction monitoring, sanction screening, and KYC risk scoring all in one platform. For more established enterprise, our platform helps to cut down huge amount of manual work. What is especially unique about our platform, what no one else has, is the AML Bridge. So AML Bridge helps financial companies to collaborate and fight back the criminal networks who are currently beating us. And AML Bridge is a secure data sharing platform. It enables companies to share their fin-crime data and to stop criminal networks in a way that has been unimaginable so far. And how we're doing so far, we already have over 20 customers in 8 different countries, and we are growing steadily. We are in the middle of national AML Bridge data sharing pilot with 4 of the largest banks in Estonia. And we are already planning to expand this to Baltics, Scandinavia, and beyond. So thank you for your time, and I'm happy to work with you in the future as well. All the best.
Thank you for your interesting pitch. And now we will move on to another Estonian company, who is the Admiral Markets. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Sergey, and I'm the chairman of the management board. Admirals is one of the world's fastest growing trading platforms. Like Dubai, we were born out of a port city. We called our business Admirals because this is one of the highest ranks of the Navy. As Admirals, we have taken our mission to change the world of trading globally. We want to help 10 million people achieve financial freedom. We come from one of the smallest countries in Europe, Estonia. We may be small, but we are one of the most innovative and home of 8% of all unicorns grown in Europe. We started our mission 20 years ago, and today we operate in 19 countries and serve clients in over 140. Admirals is regulated by the United Kingdom and Australian authorities. We manage over $5 billion securely every day. Our pricing is more competitive because of our technical excellence. Tens of thousands of our customers love the local language support. We are compliant with Dubai regulations and expecting approval from DIFC. We want to be your next reliable partner, to work together to help more people take control and grow their finances. Partner with us at admirals.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Depot Wise. The next one and the last one from the Estonian companies on the list to pitch is a bankish company. Please, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Ian, Customer Experience Officer of Bankish. Before I go deeper into what we do, let's take a step back and think about the status quo of the financial sector. So some couple of hundred years after the Industrial Revolution, we're in the process of major technological breakthroughs in almost all industries. Smartphones, e-mobility, clean energy, to name a few. But we can see all in action daily, all around us. However, in finance, we have taken baby steps since the 1970s. And until just recently, only the big banks were able to afford building a system to their needs. The rest of the financial sector were left with essentially limited solutions, if not managing their portfolio in Excel. This is why Bankish was born, the powerhouse of modern finance. We are dedicated professional service providers specializing in empowering financial institutions with technology so that they can focus on what really matters, the customer. Our software is an end-to-end core banking solution for credit institutions of various size and function. The modular cloud-based solutions bring together the entirety of the financing processes, regardless of whether it is a bank, a payday lender, or a car dealership. Our solution proposition features the whole deal, the back office customer portal by which both the credit institution and its customers can operate intuitively and with ease. We take the struggles of the IT off the table for the financial institutions altogether so that they can focus on their business and their customers. Why are we the right people? Bankish's team is a collection of seasoned professionals from the credit markets and banking IT. This is not our first rodeo, neither optimizing credit operations or implementing core technologies. Rather than just having a talented IT crew that could do websites one day and medical systems another, our team has extensive banking domain knowledge and practice since the 1990s. So if that was something of interest to you and you would like to find out more, feel free to connect me on LinkedIn, send me an email, or even give me a straight up call. Make sure to check out our website, and we'll be looking forward to talk to you soon.
Thank you very much for your presentations, and now we will move on to the Icelandic part, and another 5 companies from the FinTech cluster of Iceland will present their ideas. And we will start here with the Monerium. Please, the floor is yours.
Good morning, my name is Svein Valfels. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of Monerium. Monerium is the first company in Europe authorized to issue money on blockchains. That means euros, sterling, dollars, and of course Icelandic krona on a blockchain, moving at the speed of light across the internet, just like cryptocurrency. Why do we issue money on blockchains? Because blockchains are not only a faster, cheaper, and simpler way of moving digital assets on the internet. They can also be programmed, so you can program transactions in a way that they settle instantly, seamlessly, and based on flexible, open standards. Think of blockchains and money on blockchains as open banking on stilts. That is Monerium, allowing you to transact in regulated money on a blockchain, just like you would transact cryptocurrency. Next slide, please. So the service that we offer is twofold. We connect your bank accounts in the Eurozone to your blockchain wallets on initially on Ethereum, but also in the future on other major blockchains. That means you can move your money from your bank account to a blockchain wallet across the SEPA payment system as fast as you would move money between bank accounts in the Eurozone. So you can have your money from your bank account into your blockchain wallet in about 15 seconds, and the same going back. Now, we do this to facilitate the adoption of blockchains, not just transactions of cryptocurrencies, but increasingly rather transactions with tokenized forms of other assets, including securities, including various investment funds, including invoices, because what blockchains ultimately do is that they remove intermediaries in transactions, and so as to make them simpler and cheaper. And that's our goal, is to serve the mainstream economy with the benefits of blockchains, which will unleash liquidity and make the transactions simpler, cheaper, and more flexible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monerium, for your exciting speech. The next speech we are going to listen to is from the company Meniga. Please, Meniga, the floor is yours.
Hello, my name is Georg. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Meniga. So what is Meniga? We were started in the wake of the last financial crisis of 2009-10 with a higher purpose to help people lead better financial lives. Our way to do that was to bring personal finance solutions, budgeting, money management, and so on through digital banking. So since then, we've been on a journey as a digital innovation partner to leading banks across Europe and the world. We work with many of the largest institutions in Europe, and our software powers digital bank used by more than 100 million consumers, including Swedbank's digital bank that is used in Estonia and all the Baltic countries. We are behind many of the FinTech success stories of the last 18 months. We've been part of upgrading UniCredit's mobile banking applications across all their 12 markets in Europe. We've also been part of neobank launches with several banks, including Crédito Agrícola in Portugal, where they are competing successfully with their MOE app against Revolut and N26 and other neobanks. And UOB is a similar concept in Asia. Our fundamental philosophy and message to bank is that to stay relevant and close to their customers, their banking applications must evolve into smart advisors. Banks are struggling with how to sell their and recommend their products in an intelligent way inside their digital banking apps. Most apps are still just very transactional and don't provide any real advice. So our answer to this is think about transforming the digital bank into a set of specialized smart advisors on different personal finance topics. Help people understand and manage their spending. Help people understand and manage their cash flow. Help people save more by making that easy, less stressful, more automatic. We do this through a broad set of functionalities, but also insights and nudges and gamification, making the user experience of the digital bank better. We do everything except core banking, you can say. Just as one last example, the latest part of our product portfolio is called Carbon Insight. So this is a way for bank to help their customers, those that are interested in climate, to track and understand their carbon footprint. So we found that there's no better place than the mobile bank to understand and keep track of one's carbon footprint. You can get a surprisingly accurate estimate based on transactions, because all of our carbon footprint comes from spending of one sort or another. And then we help users make sense of that. Where does that carbon footprint come from? How can I change my lifestyle or offset through certified offsetting projects? And this is coinciding with a green wave in banking. So this is our best selling product right now. You'll see a lot of banks offering carbon management solutions in the coming months and years. So this is all we have time now for. So thank you and have a great day.
Thank you very much for your pitch. We're going further with the third company from the Icelandic part, which is Lucinity. Please, the floor is yours.
Hi all, my name is Darri Atlason and I am the VP of Marketing for Lucinity. This is Al Capone, and like many of you might know, Al Capone was one of the most notorious criminals of the late 90s, 20s, but you might not know that his laundromats are actually the origin of the word money laundering. Money laundering has changed a lot since the days of Al Capone, but unfortunately, anti-money laundering has not progressed with the same speed. There are still around $2.4 trillion laundered through the financial system every single year. And this is despite the fact that banks are spending around $40 billion on trying to prevent the problem across the EU and in the US, while only catching around 1% of the proceeds laundered through the financial system. This is in large part due to clunky and old legacy systems that rely on tremendous amounts of human labor to deliver pretty subpar results. At Lucinity, we want to turn this on its head and through a super light integration deliver efficiency and effectiveness gains to compliance programs around the world. The basis of our product lies in the relationship of man and machine, which is embedded into our detection and visualization. The conversation between AI and human intelligence makes up this idea of human AI that helps us find more complex crimes than other systems are able to, and is able to explain it into information that is understandable by reviewers and investigators around the world. The platform manifests itself in the human AI case management system, where we are interpreting complex artificial intelligence findings into visualization, graphs, and suggestions that allow for a super efficient and effective review by investigators around the world. This means translating complex AI finding into information that is actually usable by everyday people in compliance departments all over. At Lucinity, we believe that it's time for financial crime to have a crisis. Our mission is to make money good, and we're lucky enough to have some brilliant partners with global tier 1 reputation and international fintechs with our initiative. We're constantly looking for partners to keep growing this philosophy, and we believe that consumers and investors of the future will demand responsibility from the whole ecosystem when it comes to the fight against financial crime. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the conference and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any further questions. Take care.
Thank you. And now we will move on to our next presenter. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present here today. My name is Margrét Vilborg Bjarnadóttir and I'm the founder and chairperson of Pay Analytics. We have built a compensation platform that allows you not to only measure your pay gaps, but provides suggestions on how to close them and supports ongoing decision-making to ensure that the gaps don't come creeping back. So we got our start 5 years ago when I was approached by a COO that was responsible for the HR functionality within his organization. A year earlier, they had measured an equal pay gap at 8%. And as a result, over the past 12 months, the management team had been very mindful of the gap in every salary, hiring, and promotional decision. However, when the gap was measured again, it was still 8%. It then became very clear to the executive team that the gender pay gap will not be fought by good intentions alone. You need quantitative decision support. And that is what we have built. The Pay Analytics platform is a user-friendly and supports your organization in eradicating any demographic pay gap and supports every salary decision, all while taking into account the operational constraints of the company and the compensation strategy of the organization. And of course, the platform meets any national requirements, whether that's the salary mapping in Sweden, the salary register in Spain, or any of the national reporting requirements. And it has been very rewarding to follow our customers on their pay equity journey. For example, our initial development partner drove down their gender pay gap to 0 in just over a year. Another client, a multinational organization with over 100,000 employees, went below 1% in a matter of months. And more importantly, by supporting their compensation decisions, we are ensuring that these gaps do not come back. And we meet every organization where they are. So whether you're just starting out and you have to close what I call the legacy pay gaps that may have built up over years, or whether you're further along in your journey, ready to make pay equity a part of your organizational DNA. So fast regulatory changes are really pushing pay equity from a nice to have to a must have for every organization across the globe. And we look forward to meeting forward-thinking Estonian organizations and adding Estonia onto our maps of users. The time for pay equity is now, and Pay Analytics can help you get there with data-informed real-time decision support, rooted in science and driven by fairness. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And now we will move on to our next presenter. Please, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Vignir, and I am the CEO and founder of Igloo, which is an Icelandic-based FinTech company. So I would like to tell you a little bit about our journey. Imagine that you found just the right apartment on your favorite rental platform that fits your needs and your monthly budget, only to find out that the move-in price cited in the ad is 5,000 euros, and you think, damn, I can't afford this. Paying high security deposits when renting and up to 3 months of prepaid rent is extremely hard, and in many cases, renters never get their money back from the landlord. Igloo replaces the security deposit by issuing a bank guarantee that covers unpaid rent and damages, so instead of paying everything up front, the renter pays a small monthly subscription fee. Landlords can also activate Igloo Payments, which is a powerful product that secures them with a payment on the first of every month, even if the renter is paying late, and it protects them with a 300,000 euros peace of mind insurance in case the security deposit isn't enough. Igloo has been operating in Iceland since 2017 and has already established itself as an industry leader and proven its product market fit. 20% of all cash deposits on the rental contracts in Iceland have been replaced by a rental guarantee from Igloo, and landlords are begging for the prepaid paid on the first service. With a proven business model and expertise and geographically scalable IT infrastructure, we see huge opportunities for Igloo in Scandinavia, especially in Denmark and in the Baltic countries as well. The rental market in the Nordics and in the Baltics is big, and many of the same problems in Iceland exist there as well. A recent example of this was covered in the Danish newspaper last month, where they told the story of a single landlord who had stolen or systematically refused to refund hundreds of thousands of euros worth of cash deposits from his renters. Because security deposits are capped to 3 months in many countries, many landlords ask for multiple months of prepaid rent in addition. The liability insurance included in our payment service reduces the need for that, and by replacing the security deposit with a rental guarantee, renters are better protected. Our go-to-market strategy is based on 2 main channels, renters and landlords. By approaching renters and landlords separately, we focus on the different characteristics of those 2 groups. Renters are mostly individuals who can be targeted on a broad scale, but landlords are often businesses that can be approached one-on-one and tend to be a great source of growth. Igloo has been working with Arion Bank in Iceland for 2 years with a great success. The partnership is based on 2 pillars: capital investment and commercial partnership. The latter is the most important and will serve as a role model when we approach Nordic and Baltic banks. It consists of 2 main factors, which are underwriting the guarantees and financing or factoring of the paid on the first payment service. Iglo is allowed to issue a guarantee in the name of the bank and has a line of credit that we use to pay out the rent to landlords every month. We are looking into working with Nordic and Baltic banks of any size with a focus on consumer credit and mortgages. The 2 products that Iglo is selling, that is the guarantees and factoring of rental payments, are relatively standard banking products that have just been given a little facelift. As mentioned earlier, the payment service can include a €300,000 liability insurance. That risk is underwritten by the Icelandic insurance company Vörður, which Iglo is also doing a commercial partnership with, but they have already put tremendous effort into analyzing the product. Although Icelandic insurance companies can operate within the European Economic Area, we would prefer to work with a local insurer. We'd have much more competitive advantages with a local partner who knows the market conditions and the risks. Finally, as our goal is to build a strong company that can operate across Scandinavia and Europe, we believe that having an established Nordic and Baltic financial partner is vital because they don't only have the capabilities to operate in those countries, but are able to support us when we enter other European markets as well. So thank you very much for listening.
Honored ministers, dear keynote speakers, entrepreneurs, and friends, this brings us to the end of the first part of our virtual business visit between Estonia and Iceland today. Thank you very much for being part of this great collaboration. Now the bilateral meetings will continue. Everyone who had prearranged their meetings should have received an email with joining information. The ones who did not have prearranged meetings can request meetings with the companies via the link provided in the sidebar on the right. If you wish to set up a meeting for a different time and date, I highly encourage you to contact the companies directly via email address that you will find under their profile in the sidebar on the right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us today, and I hope you will all stay healthy and safe. Thank you once again, and good luck with the bilateral meetings.